The family of a young man who dedicated his life to serving our country is pushing for answers on his final moments after he was found dead in the South Georgia River. Now, these are photos that his family share with us of Devin Jeter. He was 25 years old and serving in the United States Navy as a weapons specialist. He was stationed at NAS Jacksonville. His body was found on Veterans Day after his family says they dropped him off to pick up a rental car at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. They tell us 6 days went by before anything about him missing was officially released. They're hoping that did not delay or affect the search for him.
Both teary when we started.
Right, because, just not knowing is the hardest part. A young kid, 25 years old, to be found dead, who was just trying to go to work is probably the hardest thing, to accept.
What happened in that time frame? Somebody having some idea, the fisherman that found his body on the side of the river, how did he get there?
Investigators were able to identify Devin by his tattoos, but no idea wallet was found on him. Devin's family thinks maybe he could have been saved had that information about his disappearance gotten out much sooner. Meanwhile, the GBI still hasn't located the rental car that he was driving when he left Atlanta and headed to Jacksonville.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to MTGV Crime Podcast. So you see it. Today we are talking about Devin Jeter. And this case is no different than the ones that we've been covering over here. So it's a lot of familiar things that we are going to be talking about that reminds me of Javion McGee, Jelani Day, Daniel Robinson. I'm talking about some successful Black men that's in their career in their early 20s, on their job, headed to their job, or on assignment. What's really going on? I mean, I've said this before, that it seems like they're targeting our Black men that are on the right path, the ones that could leave generational wealth, the ones that could be valuable. And I'm not saying all of them are not, but I'm noticing the ones that are really doing something with their life are being snuffed out. I don't know if y'all noticing it, but this right here, it's starting to look real organized. You know what I'm saying? Welcome in, everybody. Please smack the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not. So a couple things I've noticed just in that video is that, number one, the vehicle that he just rented is missing. But
this morning, the family of a young
they found his body. A fisherman found his body in a river. And they identified him by his tattoos. He was in that water about 3 days. There was delays with this case. I seen that his sister had posted on Facebook that she was angry. The car rental place told them that they didn't have a GPS on the vehicle that he was in when they actually did. I mean, he was in a 2024 Jeep Compass. So you heard him say they identified this man by his tattoos. No ID, all of that kind of stuff. But that Jeep could very well be in the water that he was found in. It really could. Or somebody could have took it from him and just put him in the water. I don't know. But this sounds very sketchy. Just like all the other cases. What do y'all think is going on? What's really going on? This is crazy. So we're going to pull up, I'm going to pull up a few videos. We're going to listen at what the family has to say, his sister has to say, and what the news is putting out. And so thank y'all so much for being here. Please drop down in the comments and let me know who's here. Good morning, Street. Welcome in. Yeah, man, it's a lot going on. So what we know so far, and this is coming from GBI. Well, this is part of what they put out. This is coming from a news article, actually. So it says, Georgia Bureau of Investigations is calling on the public for assistance in investigating the unaliving of 25-year-old Devin Jeter. Now they're not saying that he was unalive. Right now they're calling it a death investigation. Anything sound familiar there? So, it was an afterthought with Javion, but it still sound familiar. Right now they don't know what happened. They just know that he was supposed to show up to work on the 8th, and he did not. He had called his employer and said he was going to be a day late. His grandmother said that he was looking for a vehicle while he was there, but he couldn't find one, so he ended up renting one, and this is the rental car that he was driving in. He was traveling in, and the vehicle is missing. And so, hold on, let me pull something up, because I got a couple pictures here that I want y'all to look at that I was able to find. But here's what they were saying.
And someone took away.
The GBI is asking for the public's help after a body was found along the Okmulgee River here in Lumber City on Monday. They're also looking for a 2024 silver Jeep Compass. Now, Devin Jeter's body was found here on Monday by a fisherman in the afternoon. He was last known to be seen on security tape footage at the Atlanta Airport where he was renting that Jeep Compass. His family thought that he was heading to Jacksonville where he was stationed in the Navy, but after he never showed up to work, his co-workers contacted his family, who then filed a missing persons report on Friday. His body was found here on Monday. And now the GBI says that there were no signs of any trauma or injuries to his body. His body has been taken to the crime lab for more investigation, but they say that no bit of information could possibly be too small to help them solve this case. So if you ever saw Jeter or that vehicle between then and now, you're asked to contact the GBI. The GBI is asking for the public's help.
Now, here's what his grandmother had to say.
And someone took away the joy of our grandson and son. So I'm just hoping they find whoever has that car. And justice is met out. When he did not show up, my heart just sunk, because that's not like him. He was going back to the car to drive back, because he had been looking for a car here to buy. So he rented a car. I understand he had called his commanding officer and said that he would be late a day. And he rented the car, and they have pictures of him at the airport renting the car and driving off. So I don't know if he stopped for gas and someone took the car or what happened. But all I know is my grandson is gone. This has just rocked our world, that the holidays are coming up, and he was planning on coming back for Thanksgiving. And instead of having a family gathering, we're having a gathering for a homegoing for Devin. It's just so sad that this happens to any family and someone.
Now, it don't sound like that was on Devin's agenda, okay? He had plans. You just heard his grandmother. So what do y'all think, just listening at this? What do y'all think happened? I definitely call foul play. I mean, but the behavior of everybody, like the car rental place could have moved faster, could have helped out sooner than they did. From what I'm reading here, the investigation didn't even start until his body was found. That's what I just read. But I'm going to read this. So Jeter, a resident of Scottsdale, was reported missing 3 days earlier by his family after failing to arrive at his naval station in Jacksonville, Florida. The investigation began when a local fisherman found Jeter's body around 12:55 p.m. on November 11th, the same day that Javion was found. And they're saying it was at a boat landing along. Hold on, Jeter's body was found around 12:55 p.m. on November 11th at a boat landing along the Ocmulgee River. In Telfair County, Sheriff Sims Davison quickly requested the GBI's assistance. and the body was soon identified as Jeter. So Jeter had last been seen at the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta Airport on the night of November 7th, where he rented a silver 2024 Jeep Compass with Florida license plates EWAG47 for his trip to Jacksonville. So when Jeter didn't show up for work the next day on the 8th, concerned coworkers contacted his family, leading them to reporting him missing. So the night of the 7th is when he went missing. Right after he left that airport, they said he was found, I think they said 200 miles away from the airport is where this river is at. What could have happened that quick? So yeah, November 7th, he rented the vehicle. You heard his grandmother say they seen him on surveillance and they seen him pulling off in that vehicle. When he didn't show up for work the next day, which I don't know what time he was supposed to be to work the next day, but they said an autopsy was performed by the GBI Coastal Crime Lab. Of course, they found no visible injuries. But investigators are awaiting additional forensic results to help determine the cause of death. Authorities have yet to locate the rented Jeep. That Jeep could definitely be in the water, or somebody could have took it. Like, I follow channels that actually find missing vehicles that's been in the water for 30 years and more that law enforcement couldn't find, that they just, it was a recent case. They found a young girl. She was at a party and had driven into the water, and law enforcement, the people that they had to go out and look, couldn't find them, but some locals went out, and I don't even know if they were locals, but they were YouTube channels that went out there and found it. Kylie, I forgot her last name. But yeah, so when I'm looking at these cases, it's all kind of stuff is popping up in my head because I have reported on or know something about. And so this, as I'm reading it, I am thinking about Jelani Day, I'm thinking about Javion, and I'm thinking about Daniel Robinson, because Daniel Robinson was a geologist that just went missing in Arizona, still haven't been found. 2021, same year Jelani Day went missing. And then we've been talking about Javion since we found out about him on November 11th. Wow. So the GBI is asking anyone, if they seen him, the vehicle or whatever, to help out. So let's see what this video is saying, and I'm gonna see what y'all saying. But this just got me just tripping. Like, these people, I mean, they're doing what they supposed to do in life, and they getting snuffed out, and it's the good ones. And it ain't by accident. I believe it's foul play, no doubt. And nothing on his part. That's what I believe.
Investigators were able to identify Devin by his tattoos, but no idea wallet was found on him. Devin's family thinks maybe he could have been saved had that information about his disappearance gotten out much sooner. Meanwhile, the GBI still hasn't located the rental car that he was driving when he left Atlanta and headed to Jacksonville.
You see, the family wasn't pleased with delays.
Other news we're following tonight: friends, family, and law enforcement continue to search for answers following the death of a sailor stationed at NAS Jax. 25-year-old Devin Jeter was found dead in a river in Georgia earlier this week, 3 days after he was supposed to report back to work at the base. Tonight, our Rich Donnelly is joining us live from outside of NAS Jax with the latest information on this case. Rich.
Anthony, Aviation Ordnanceman 3rd Class Devin Jeter was supposed to report to work here at NAS-JAX on November 8th. When he didn't show up for work, his coworkers called his family, and that's when his family filed a missing persons report. His body was found on Veterans Day, and this case has investigators looking for answers. The body of Devin Jeter was found near a boat dock on the Ocmulgee River, roughly midway between Atlanta and Jacksonville.
We want anybody with information to come forward, because we really don't have a lot to go on.
Telfair County Sheriff Sim Davidson told our sisters.
Now that right there is just ridiculous, because it's cameras everywhere. It's GPS trackers everywhere. It's license plate readers everywhere. On the highway, there's cameras. Like, they literally, I'm trying to figure out, how did they miss him? How could they miss him? What do y'all think? What are y'all thinking right now with this? Because this is super shady. Shout out to Latasha Turk. She said, Miss V, I noticed too, is always the good ones with promise and potential. Exactly. I'm noticing a trend with that, y'all. I am noticing a trend with that one. It's like they know to look for them or something. It's like they know that where they gonna be at or something. You know, I hope the family knows to call Jack Department from Naval Air Station, Jackson, Florida. I hope so too. Shout out to Drea. She said, I'm editing and listening. I forgot to say something. Been watching for a while. Morning, Miss V. Good morning. Thank you for dropping down. Yeah. One of the things that stuck out to me with this case is when they first talked about him, they did not have a picture. And everybody, and I don't understand why, because if you got his name, all you had to do is type it in. And I mean, I was able to find all these pictures on his page under Devin Jeter. Now, this is, you can tell that this is when he was younger, and he went through a lot of different phases of how he looked when he was younger. He was like into anime and characters and stuff like that when he was younger. And I was able to find stuff all the way from 12 years ago. So how the heck did they just showed a picture that he wasn't in his uniform? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it wasn't a good picture to show. Let me, I think it's this one right here. Yeah, this one right here. Why did they show that dang on picture first when he's a professional guy here? It's like they draw their own narratives with these pictures and captions and all of that stuff. So I noticed that off the bat, because when I went on Facebook and seen that GBI had posted something, people in that very comment, in that very post was like, do you have a picture of him? Can we see a picture of the guy? You know, they can't be looking for him too hard if it ain't no picture of him, you know. And I don't know how they didn't have one. And so then one of the videos that we gonna listen to, you could hear in the article, they was like, well, the family sent us these pictures. Yeah, because they probably was like, man, don't be showing, why y'all showing that when he was in the freaking Navy? So I just noticed that kind of stuff too. You know, I also noticed, like, it could be a 17-year-old and they'll call him a boy if he white, but if he, you know, I hate to say it because it ain't right, but it's happening. It's stuff that we see, and it's funny. It ain't funny, but we see it. We're aware, and more people need to be aware. So as I'm reading these articles, and I mean, at the same time, I appreciate the information that's being put out. We want the right information to be put out. We don't want to be confused and stuff. But we have to remember that the news tells the police story. Not necessarily, not the victims. They tell the police story. That's where they get their news from. That's how they get popular, from what the police tell them. So, but still, you know, I know from reporting crime that I've seen a lot of mistakes, heard parents say That's not true. That's been corrected, and I don't know why they still running that ad. I've seen all of that kind of stuff with parents I interviewed. One in particular, what's her name? Kiara Coles, a Chicago postal worker that went missing, and they still haven't found her. Was that 2019? 2018, I believe. Oh my God, it's just so much. But this right here, I put it up because this is what the Georgia Bureau of Investigations had posted, and they said GBI seeks public help, and which I say it like that because why? Yeah, get some tips, but come on, it should be on camera footage, the GPS from that vehicle, wherever, if he stopped at a gas station, whatever, like they should have all this stuff already. So, and then the 24-hour, satellite that they have running. So, Telfair County, Georgia, November 14th, 2024, the GBI is seeking information from the public that will aid in the investigation in the death of 25-year-old Devin Jeter of Scottsdale, Georgia. Jeter's body was found in Okmulgee. I'm not gonna say this. Ocmulgee River near Lumber City, Georgia, on September 11, 2024, at about 12:55 p.m. A local fisherman found a body at a river landing along the river. I ain't trying to say that name no more. Responding to the discovery, Telfair County Sheriff Sims. I already read this. Basically, Davis requested GBI assistance in the investigation. The deceased was soon identified as Jeter, who had been reported missing by his family to the Atlanta Police Department 3 days earlier on November 8th. So that's what the family was upset about, because they said if they would have reported it sooner, like they didn't say nothing about him when the family reported him missing, and they didn't say nothing until the body was found, just like I just read that's when the investigation started, when the fisherman found the body. So Jeter was last known to be at the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta Airport on the night of November 7th, where he rented a 2024 silver Jeep Compass with Florida license plates, EWAG 47. He was reportedly headed to Jacksonville, Florida, where he was stationed in the U.S. Navy. When Jeter did not show up for work the next day, his co-workers alerted his family, prompting them to report him missing. And then I ran into this post from his sister. As soon as I can find it. Oh, they had this too. Let me see. Oh, it says an autopsy was conducted by the GBI Coastal Crime Lab. No apparent injuries. This is what they say all the time. And I don't know how they would know right away. Like, what's the state of the body after being in there for 3 days? I need to look that up. And I'm sure, the water, I think it's like 48 hours it takes for the body to bloat and float to the top, which is why he was found by a fisherman. But it's a lot of, stages of things. Jelani was found in water. He was in the water for 11 days and had 3 autopsies. Wow, man. So, yeah. Anyway, the sister, she posted this saying, she said, "Thank you to everyone sharing our posts about our missing brother. I have an update. Atlanta PD is investigating. Enterprise at the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport has lied to us and told us multiple times that they cannot track the car. We learned yesterday they actually are able to track the car." So they didn't say they didn't have GPS. They said they couldn't track the car. That's crazy. Man, it took Atlanta PD pressing them to actually tell us they can track the car. I never had any patience from the beginning, but this enterprise could have helped in the beginning, but chose not to. This is a missing person case. The urgency was and is lacking. I'm angry. And this is the kind of fights that we have to go through. For what? It's unnecessary, but this is what happens. If you don't look a certain way, they don't want to help you. They're not compelled to help you. That's what it's looking like. And then the post that she made on the 8th, I might not have it in here, but it just says, wait, what's this one? Oh, that's the one. But yeah, the one that she posted on the 8th, she said, my little brother, Devin Jeter, has been missing since last night. We are trying to get law enforcement involved, but it has been complicated. Y'all hear this? So it's the same elements of BS that happens with all of these cases. The stalling, the first 48, we have all watched it. It's the most important times. Like the first 48 hours is the very most important time frame to get the evidence, try to figure out what happened, to who, what, when, where, why, and how, and all that. But those are the delays because they don't even want to talk to you. First of all, you go and be like, I want to report my loved one missing, and they tell you, oh, you gotta wait 48 hours or 24 hours. And I've heard so many times that is not true. It's like a whole protocol. Like if a black person go missing, this is what we tell them. I'm sorry, that this is what it's looking like because it's happening too much and too many people are telling the same stories and having the same issues. I don't believe in coinky dinks. I don't. Welcome in. Hey, peace and blessings. Yes, peace and blessings to you. This is becoming a trend. Exactly. That's happening too often. Look at the age groups. They are young and being targeted. They are no way that foul play does not have a part in their demise. Exactly. I'm telling you, I've been seeing it a lot. And those are just the couple names that's just off the top of my brain. I mean, I remember one year it was a Robert Fuller and it was two other guys. I think one of them name was Brandon and it was another one. All of them, they were saying that they unalived themselves on trees. Now, I can't say what they was doing in life, but it really stood out because when they talk about these guys, they are like pictured together. And don't already have something mental going on your record. If you are a known mental illness, oh, they really ain't. Oh, they really gone. Oh, it's already solved. Oh, that's definitely what happened. And that's what they did with Robert Fuller, who was found like by a city hall, I think in Atlanta. But I remember that case. Same story. Let me finish playing these videos. I'm getting irritated here.
Station WMAZ that his department's investigation isn't turning up many leads.
We found the body, and outside of that, we don't know how it got here. Don't know how long it was here.
Here's what law enforcement does know. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says that Jeter rented this 2024 silver Jeep Compass with the Florida license plate EWAG47 from the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta Airport on November 7th. That vehicle has not been found. GBI also says that Jeter did not appear to have any injuries when his body was found, but the Telfair County coroner said results of an official autopsy could take weeks. Jeter was assigned to the VP-10 Red Lancer Squadron at NAS Jax. In a post on Facebook Friday,
and that's kind of interesting. They know right away, no injuries. He didn't have any injuries. Like, how did he get in the water? He would have had to get thrown in there somehow. And if he got in there inside the vehicle and he just happened to float out of the vehicle, I'm sure he had to have some type of bumps or bruises. That's just my opinion.
Afternoon, the squadron wrote, quote, "It is with deep sadness that we announce the passing of AO3 Devin Jeter, loving family member, cherished friend, and dedicated sailor." According to the squadron Facebook page, Jeter was deployed with the Red Lancers to Japan earlier this year and logged nearly 2,500 flight hours while serving as an ordnance team member.
2,500 flight hours. That makes me think about Javion with his hours with his truck and the possible reason why he had to pull over for a certain length of time. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're on a mission. They're doing well. They're following, like I heard his grandmother say, in his grandfather's footsteps and his older siblings. He was the baby of like 5 or something like that. And this is the outcome. Wow. It's like they saying, "Oh, you think you about to be something? No, I got something for you, Inga."
And support equipment operator. His squadron wishes him fair winds and following seas. Meanwhile, law enforcement continues to look for clues about the incident.
No piece of information is too small. We really don't have any leads. We really don't have any other information.
Why not? I'm confused because where's his cell phone? We got cameras of him renting a car or a truck. We heard the family say, I mean, he was just leaving his family. They dropped him off at the airport. They knew his state of mind. So, I mean, you do have that kind of evidence. You knew where he was going, coming from, and what he was supposed to be doing. So what they should be saying is, based off of what the family is saying, that it doesn't make sense that this will be his outcome. Not that y'all don't have no type of investigation, no type of information, and don't know a damn thing. Let me listen at this again, because it made me mad, but let me make sure I'm mad for a reason.
To come forward, because we really don't have a lot to go on.
Telfair County Sheriff Sim Davidson told our sister station WMAZ that his department's
You wouldn't
investigation
have a lot to go on if you ain't investigating.
isn't turning up many leads.
We found the body, and outside of that, we don't know how it got here. Don't know how long it was here.
Here's what law enforcement does know.
Why don't they know how long? I mean, it was found on the 11th. We know that he left the airport on the 7th. He left the airport on the night of the 7th. And he did not show up for work on the 8th, which means something happened to him on the damn 7th. Per my listening to you talk.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says that Jeter rented this 2024 silver Jeep Compass with the Florida license plate EWAG47 from the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta Airport on November 7th. That vehicle has not been found. GBI also says that Jeter did not appear to have any injuries when his body was found, but the Telfair County coroner said results of an official autopsy could take weeks. Jeter was assigned to the VP-10 Red Lancer Squadron at NAS Jax. In a post on Facebook Friday afternoon, the squadron wrote, quote, "It is with deep sadness that we announce the passing of AO3 Devin Jeter, loving family member, cherished friend, and dedicated sailor." According to the squadron Facebook page, Jeter was deployed with the Red Lancers to Japan earlier this year and logged nearly 2,500 flight hours while serving as an ordnance team member and support equipment operator. His squadron wishes him fair winds and following seas. Meanwhile, law enforcement continues to look for clues about the incident.
No piece of information is too small. We really don't have any leads. We really don't have any other information.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says that anyone with information can submit tips through their online website or by calling the number 1-800-597-TIPS. Reporting live outside of NAS Jax, Rich Donnelly, First Coast News, on your side.
So, hold on. I'm going to tell you what.
Thank you, Alicia. In other local news tonight, the grandmother.
So, what irritates me about that is the fact that that was the sheriff. And we supposed to get the information from him. And that's what the hell he told us. If it wasn't for the grandmother speaking out, we wouldn't know a damn thing based off of what he told us. And that pisses me off. because they have press conferences when they want to have press conferences and they get the right information out. What he told us was a bag of air. It was nothing. And he could have just shut the hell up. And we could have figured out more than what he told us. That just really pisses me off because they half-ass us on everything. Period. Now let's listen at what the grandmother said, because compared to what he said, let's compare what the grandmother told us and what he told us.
And someone took away the joy of our grandson and son. So I'm just hoping they find whoever has that car. And justice is met out. When he did not show up, my heart just sunk. Because that's not like him. He was going back to the car to drive back because he had been looking for a car here to buy. So he rented a car. I understand he had called his commanding officer and said that he would be late a day. And he rented the car, and they have pictures of him at the airport renting the car and driving off. So I don't know if he stopped for gas and someone took the car or what happened. But all I know is my grandson is gone. This has just rocked our world that the holidays are coming up, and he was planning on coming back for Thanksgiving. And instead of having a family gathering, we're having a gathering for a homegoing for Devin. It's just so sad that this happens to any family. And someone took away the joy of our grandson and son. So I'm just hoping they find whoever has that car. And justice is met out. When he did not show up, my heart just sunk.
Okay, so we got more out of that than what the sheriff said. And there's never any press conferences or real information. It was a phone call. And he didn't know a damn thing.
Of a Jacksonville-based sailor found dead in a Georgia river. She's speaking to News4Jax, hoping for answers as to what happened to him. A fisherman found Devin Jeter's body in a river near Lumber City. It's about 100 miles west of Savannah, and the medical examiner saying that he had no apparent injuries and still unclear how he died. Jeter was reported missing November 8th after he didn't show up for work. His family members say that he was last seen on surveillance video at the Atlanta airport.
And he was headed to NAS Jacksonville in a rental car. That car has not yet been found.
And someone took away the joy of our grandson and son. So I'm just hoping they find whoever has that car. And justice is met out.
News4Jax anchor Tarek Minor is joining us now in studio after speaking with Jeter's grandmother today.
Yeah, Devin Jeter's grandmother says it wasn't like him. It wasn't in the 25-year-old's character to not answer phone calls or return text messages, which is why the family immediately reported him missing when he didn't respond. She says this Thanksgiving will be extremely hard for their close, tight-knit family, many of whom served in the military.
And when he did not show up, my heart just sunk. Because that's not like him. He was going back to the base.
Speaking to News4Jax by phone, Perry Jeter says her 25-year-old grandson, Devin, wanted to be just like his grandfather, who was a master sergeant in the military. Devin enlisted in the U.S. Navy, along with two other siblings who also joined the armed forces. She says he went missing while headed to base in Jacksonville after renting a car at the Atlanta airport.
He rented a car to drive back because he had been looking for a car here to buy. So he rented a car. I understand he had called his commanding officer and said that he would be late a day. And he rented the car, and they have pictures of him at the airport renting the car and driving off. So I don't know if he stopped for gas and someone took the car or what happened. But all I know is my grandson is gone.
Jeter's body was found in a river in Telfair County, Georgia, 3 days after he was reported missing, nearly 200 miles away from the airport in Atlanta. In a press release, investigators write, an autopsy conducted at the GBI Coastal Crime Lab found no apparent injuries. However, investigators are awaiting further forensic tests to provide further insights. Meanwhile, the rented Jeep Compass has not yet been located. Jeter says her entire family is devastated.
This has just rocked our world that the holidays are coming up, and he was planning on coming back for Thanksgiving. And instead of having a family gathering, we're having a gathering for a homegoing for Devin. It's just so sad that this happens to any family.
The GBI is urging anyone who may have seen Jeter or the silver Jeep Compass he was driving in between Atlanta and Telfair County to come forward with any information, no matter how small you may think that information is.
Good morning, Anita. Good morning to everybody coming in.
Tonight, the family of a young man who dedicated his life to serving our nation wants to know what happened to him after he was found dead in South Georgia. These are new photos they shared with us of Devin Jeter. He was 25 years old and serving in the Navy as a weapons specialist stationed at NAS Jacksonville. His body was just found on Veterans Day after his family says they dropped him off to pick up a rental car at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. 11 Alive's Angelina Salcido is live there right now. And Angelina, you spoke with Devin's great aunt and uncle. They believe he could have been saved.
And Jennifer, that's because 6 days went by without any official word that Devin was missing was actually put out there, hoping that that delay did not affect the search for him. I'm told that investigators were able to identify his body by the tattoos of crosses that he has on his arms. No ID or wallet was found with him. And tonight, his family wants to know what happened and why.
Both teary when we start.
Right, because, just not knowing is the hardest part.
6 days of agony.
A young kid, 25 years old, to be found dead, who was just trying to go to work, is probably the hardest thing, to accept.
Devin Jeter, the light of his family, the baby of 6 kids, followed his siblings' footsteps and became a Navy sailor.
He was such an outgoing, caring person. He had absolutely no enemies. He loved his country. He loved his family.
That's why he was home in Atlanta searching for a car to buy with his parents. When they didn't find one, Devin chose to rent a car here at Enterprise to drive back to his base in Jacksonville at 10:30 at night. The next day, calls to him went unanswered. He never made it back.
Every hospital between here and Jacksonville, we tagged, somebody's going to turn up something.
On Veterans Day, Devin was found more than 3 hours away. His family got the news 2 days later.
What happened in that time frame? Somebody having some idea, the fisherman that found his body on the side of the river, how did he get there?
The family's left with unanswered questions.
I'm still praying foul play is not involved.
Now, Devin's family says that they think that maybe he could have been found or even saved had information about his disappearance been actually put out sooner. Now, another layer of this that complicates things is that the GBI has been unable to locate the rental car that he rented from here. There's video of him taking out of here, but we want you to take a look at that car one more time. This is it right here. It is a 2004 silver Jeep Compass. They've been unable to locate it, and if they think that you have any information, they want to hear from you ASAP.
Tonight, the GBI asking for your help in the death of a Navy sailor. 25-year-old Devin Jeter was found dead in the Ocmulgee River this week.
Originally from DeKalb County, Jeter was reported missing after he did not arrive at his naval station in Jacksonville, Florida. Maggie Fitzgerald is live in studio tonight to break down what we know.
Frank and Lori, the GBI is trying to figure out how Jeter ended up in the Ocmulgee River. They said he was last seen at the Atlanta Airport renting a car to make the trip to Jacksonville. His body was found in Telfair County earlier this week by the Sheriff's Department. And I spoke with Sheriff Sim Davidson about what clues they're still working to find.
We really don't have any leads. We really don't have any other information.
4 days after 25-year-old Navy sailor Devin Jeter was found, Telfair County Sheriff Sim Davidson is asking for the public's help. A news release from the GBI says a fisherman was out on the Ocmulgee River near Lumber City and discovered Jeter's body. That was just before 1 o'clock on Monday, but Jeter was at sailor Devin Jeter was found.
Now, why was this picture posted at all? Seriously, why was it posted at all? To discredit him, maybe? To make him look a certain way, maybe? Like, this picture should have never been posted, y'all. Now, we don't know what happened to him, but we definitely suspect foul play over here. I mean, it ain't no way around it. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you pay attention to what's going on in the world in 2024, it will be no doubt. So spread the word. More people need to know that Black people are being snuffed out every day and is being ignored. Is being looked at as they don't know what the hell going on when you got enough cases already to know what's going on. And yeah, we do need to be considered endangered if something happens. You know what I'm saying? You come up missing. Yeah, to create a negative narrative about him. Exactly. Make him look a certain way when he was an airman. And they could have went right on his page just like I did and found the appropriate pictures
And
to
someone took away.
to let us know what he really looked like. But no. They wanted to go with that look. They ain't want to show us none of this. It's sad. You know what happens when they do stuff like that? It make certain people not interested to know. Oh, he just another one of them. See, when you show them in the state that they are, which this is towards the end of this. These are when he was younger. And he went through a lot of different phases of how he looked. But I didn't even find that picture that they're showing. I didn't even find that on none of his social media. I don't even know where they got it from. They ain't want to show the one with him in uniform. That's sad. We got to pay attention to how they reporting on the cases to catch what's going on, you know? We see it. A whole narrative. Before they even tell the story, before we even know his story, they've already created one. Telling you how to think. Let's keep playing this.
Telfair County Sheriff Sim Davidson is asking for the public's help. A news release from the GBI says a fisherman was out on the Ocmulgee River near Lumber City and discovered Jeter's body. That was just before 1 o'clock on Monday, but Jeter was at the Atlanta airport 1 week ago. The GBI says he rented a 2024 silver Jeep Compass from the Enterprise car rental. Jeter was heading to the Naval Air Station in Jacksonville, Florida, where he was stationed as a third-class aviation ordnanceman. But when he didn't show up at the base, that's when fellow sailors alerted his family that he was missing.
We want anybody with information to come forward because we really don't have a lot to go on. We found the body, and outside of that, we don't know how it got here, don't know how long it was here. We're still looking for the vehicle that he had rented.
The Atlanta Police Department was investigating before the Telfair County Sheriff's Department took over, but they soon requested the GBI's help.
Anything, just like the GBI said in the statement, nothing, no piece of information is too small.
That's when fellow sailors alerted his family the Enterprise car rental. Jeter was heading to the Naval Air Station in Jacksonville, Florida, where he was stationed as a third-class aviation ordnanceman.
Okay, so I wanted to know what that was. What is the ranks of an ordnanceman in aviation? So there are 3 different types of ordnancemen. 0, it says organizational level 1, intermediate level, and depot level. What does an aviation ordnance do? So what they do is they are weapons specialists charged with managing all types of ammunition carried on Navy aircraft. Your job responsibilities as a AO is what it's called, may include inspecting, maintaining, repairing mechanical and electrical weapons and ordnance systems on an aircraft. Sound like an intimidating position for some people that's intimidated by certain people. They want to make sure that we won't be able to organize like they are. That's what I just read. And it's pissing me off, man. I'm so hot right now. Whew. So where do Navy AOs get stationed at? AOs may be assigned to aviation squadrons, aircraft carriers, or other Navy ship-carrying aircraft, naval air stations, or other aviation shore facilities in the U.S. or overseas. How long is AO school? How long is AO a school? Navy planes carry guns, bombs, torpedoes, rockets, and missiles to attack the enemy on the sea, under the sea, in the air, and on land. A AO Class A school is approximately 9 weeks long. The school is located in Pensacola, Florida. The AO ranking requires a 5-year minimum enlistment. Wow. So see, that's what I'm saying. Like they in school, been in school for a while. Like Jelani, he was in his last part of his med program to become a doctor. Javiana just graduated in June from the trucking school, and he was well on his way. You know, this guy here, he probably joined like when he was 18 or something, and he was a AO. He had put in, they said 5 years, you got to 5 years minimum. The AO ranking requires a 5-year minimum enlistment. So he was at minimum 5 years enlisted to be able to have that title, just to be unalived while on assignment, but while on his way back. Now, they said he called his boss and let him know he was going to be a day late. What's really going on? Oh my God.
But when he didn't show up at the base, that's when fellow sailors alerted his family that he was missing.
We want anybody with information to come forward, but out of that, we don't know how it got here. Still looking for the vehicle that he had rented.
The Atlanta Police Department was investigating before the Telfair County Sheriff's Department took over.
Where do y'all think the vehicle was at? I mean, in the areas that he was in, he was only traveling from the airport to home. Like, it ain't too much they got to look at. You know what I'm saying? Just where did he go after that? I'm sure that they got trackers somewhere. He telling us they don't know nothing, ain't see nothing. They got little to go on. Why? When you got a whole vehicle with GPS trackers that can be tracked. Where is the vehicle at? Let's start there. Where's his phone at? And did they say they had his wallet? Because I had walked away, but...
Over, but they soon requested the GBI's help.
Anything, just like the GBI said in the statement, nothing, no piece of information is too small.
And the GBI is urging anyone who may have seen Jeter or that silver Jeep Compass between Atlanta and Lumber City to come forward. That car has Florida plates with the license number EWA G47. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Maggie. You can contact the GBI's regional office in Eastman with information at 478-374-6988. You can also share tips anonymously on the GBI's tip line at 1-800-597-8888. TIPS.
Oh, I see what's going on.
Why are you here talking to us today?
I'm in here for first-degree murder.
I don't know what that is, but it's not something that I'm about to play. Yeah, I see what's going on. It's what's always been going on. Ain't nothing changed. That's what it is. What's this? Oh, this is where he was found. This is the river that he was found in. I was able to find a few pictures. So found by a fisherman. I wonder who was the fisherman. How many witnesses was it there? Shout out to BFF. Welcome in. Shout out to my moderators in the building. Shout out to Bronze. How y'all doing? It is ridiculous, man. I mean, it's like it's a plan. It's like it's an organization feeding these people to them. It's like they know that they're coming. They know to look for them. It's like, how are they getting them in a mid-travel? Shout out to Jay Glover. How are they getting them mid-travel? It's like somebody is telling them this stuff. I believe they said they couldn't locate the tracker. Like I talk to my dad all the time. They might have certain vehicles companies rent to a certain type of color hint. It's a 2024 Jeep Compass. They not gonna tell me it ain't no GPS, but we read that they could actually track the vehicle. So they got a GPS in the vehicle. The question was, according to the sister, is if they could track it or not. And they told her they couldn't, when in reality they could. And it just sounded like it was a bunch of stalling. That's what I'm hearing. And sometimes those missiles and bombs are live, Manning activated, which to me is the most dangerous job in the Navy. And thank you for your service. I see that you said he was a fellow Navy SEAL. Wow, like that's crazy though. To do the right thing, to get away from the drama and the BS and to be productive, and this is your outcome. This is what really gets me, y'all. It really does. It really does. Let me see if they I would like to see a press conference about him. But you don't get that. You see what I'm saying? Like this is a big deal. I mean, he's putting in a service for the world, for US. He should be treated as such, but instead they showed us a crazy looking picture of him that don't look like him currently, and they could have found a better picture. I just can't get past that. And then the delays, like the family said. Let me see. So everything, I'm seeing stuff from a day ago. We probably already touched on that. So what do y'all think happened? Do y'all think he came across somebody? Do y'all think it was somebody he knew, or the obvious that we've been the obvious? My thing is, how do they know? How do they know? It's like they know who these people are. They just happen to be picking these type of people. And Navy SEALs know how to swim. They can't be a SEAL without knowing how to swim. So he had to be dead before entering the water. I bet it very much possible. Yep. And for them to say they can't find the vehicle, you know they ain't took the. my question to them is, did they say anything about sonar being put under that water or anything? Or, I mean, I heard them say they don't know how he got there, but figure it out. I mean, yeah, figure it out. Because if he went over in the vehicle, it would be some type of tread marks or something to indicate that. But look, this was what? November 7th. First of all, we just now finding out about it. Let's pay attention to that. This happened. He went missing on the night of November 7th. You know, of course, we wouldn't even know before the job would have reported him missing, which would have been on the 8th. So the soonest we could have known that he went missing was November 8th. And here we are, the 16th, since it came out yesterday that I'm seeing it. Or maybe the day before that. So it was like a week delay. You know what I'm saying? Of the public knowing to even look for certain things. And that's why the family is upset. And that's why the family is saying that they believe that he could have been saved. He could have been helped if they would have not waited so long. But they tend to tell family to be quiet. Man, damn that. Don't tell me to be quiet about nothing. When they tell you to be quiet, be loud. The hell? You got to get the word out to the public. You asking for help a week later. You know what I'm saying? Like, say for instance, if somebody seen something at the airport and they happen to be outside and he was outside and they captured somebody in his vehicle or something, they might have deleted all that footage by now. Had they alerted the public immediately, if he would have been considered in danger, you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't he should have been considered in danger for real? Like, I mean, he's a Navy he's in freaking the service. Like, he would have showed up. He's the type that do show up. It's like the way that you've been moving all your life, the fact that your family knows how you normally move, that ain't good enough when you talking to law enforcement. That's what's upsetting to people. They're letting you know they would have never did this. Something is wrong. Please do this, do that, the third. And they wait a damn week to say something. I mean, yeah, I just seen on his sister page that what she said, but it looked like his sister literally just activated her channel to post that. And I ain't seen nothing since. So it's like, the family, y'all gotta say more. Get in it, get out here and get some interviews and stuff to get more information out about how they played y'all, how this happened. Because they not happy. But I'm looking right now to see if I could see any updates on Facebook. But really, I just wanted to come in and let y'all know what's going on. We have yet another young person that was on the right path, and this is his outcome, and it's just really sad. And it's the same song with all of the family. And Daniel Robinson, like, I haven't heard. I mean, it's just crazy. It's wild. Let me see what y'all saying. Y'all can call in too. Call in. Let me know what y'all thinking, because I am just like, wow. Who is these people organize all of this stuff? Who covering for him? Like, he definitely would have driven overnight. Remember, because they said it was the night of the 7th. And we knowing now with all of these sundown towns going on, there's no telling. Did he stop somewhere to get food, or do they have him on surveillance anywhere else? Like, if he was getting a rental from the airport, he should have had a full tank of gas. And he shouldn't have had to stop nowhere. Not right away. But then they said he was found hours away. Like, what? That don't even make sense at all.
The GBI is asking for the public's help after a body was found along the Mulgi River here in Lumber City on Monday. They're also looking for a 2024 silver Jeep Compass. Now, Devin Jeter's body was found here on Monday by a fisherman in the afternoon. He was last known to be seen on security tape footage at the Atlanta Airport where he was renting that Jeep Compass. His family thought that he was heading to Jacksonville where he was stationed in the Navy, but after he never showed up to work, his co-workers contacted his family, who then filed a missing persons report on Friday. His body was found here on Monday. And now the GBI says that there were no signs of any trauma or injuries to his body. His body has been taken to the crime lab for more investigation, but they say that no bit of information could possibly be too small to help them solve this case. So if you ever saw Jeter or that vehicle between then and now, you're asked to contact the GBI. The GBI is asking for the public's help after a body was found along
and someone took away.
Yeah, the lines are open if y'all want to call. I'm going through these clips right quick. What else did I have in here? Oh, I got some screenshots, I think, too. But yeah, this is the vehicle that he was in. So, 2000. Oh, you can't see it because I got the video. But let me see something. 2024 Jeep Compass. Yeah, that vehicle was loaded. It got everything. $31,000 vehicle. $36,000. I don't know if it was a limited edition or not, but it's a fully loaded with everything, and it was trackable according to the family. Oh, let me move this video. Call in, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Oh, let me move this. Please subscribe and press that notification bell and thumbs up. Please. Thank you for sharing me. Thank you for sharing me. Thank you for sharing me. For sharing me. For sharing me. For sharing me. Thank you for sharing me. Yes, this case is crazy to me. MPs, yes, feel free to call in. Oh, hell no. What happened? I did my 45. Oh, did you? I don't know what that means, but the most come and got me. Did you return to the base or did the MPs have you? Oh, okay. McCall. Wait, I forgot how she told me her name was pronounced. Miko, I think. I had a white male friend when he took me to the desert part of Detroit at midnight and thought it was funny. I didn't worry about it, but when he asked me if I liked horror music, I was done. Wow. They taking our black men so we can't have new generations. Right, and not be able to organize stuff too. Like people that's being trained like to be doctors, to be weapon specialists, to be geologists, people that could literally organize a whole nation. If you got people that are trained to do certain things, you don't need certain people. But if they keep snuffing you out, you see what I'm saying, and you would never get to where you want to be. I don't know how they pick their people, but clearly to me it seemed like it's a organization, and it's a pool of people that is feeding these people to them. I don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe that they just all happen to be successful and all got their career path and all that. Like, it's right before they go off to do well with it that they get snuffed out. That's very disheartening. Like, it's crazy to me. But I ain't gonna prolong it, y'all. I got a lot of stuff I gotta get going. So I just wanted to come in and talk about this. I got my eyes on these cases. And I thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a great rest of the day. Well, shoot, it's really early, so we're gonna get into something today. I may or may not come back if I got something good to talk about concerning any of these cases, any developments, I should say. Because ain't nothing good about none of this. We don't want to have to talk about it, but we want to make sure that everybody know what's happening. Because everybody else know but us. Well, some of us. I've been reporting this stuff for a long time. 4 years at least. I remember Quawan Charles too. I don't know if y'all ever heard of him. He was a 15-year-old that went off. Some white woman picked him up, took him to where she lived at without his parents' permission, and then he was found behind a house in a lake. And no result to that. Nobody went to jail. Nothing happened behind that. Let me see if I could pull up an article, because y'all probably, and I think that was the year that I started YouTube. Quawan Charles. Quawan Bobby Charles, as a matter of fact. Yep, I'm going to pull up a couple videos right quick. Now, they compared him to Emmett Till because he looked very similar. I had pictures of him because he was in the water. Like, they love that water, don't they? Now, he was a kid. You know, I don't... This is his mother from a few years ago. Yeah, I happen to be looking through my old videos, and I ran across Quawan Charles, and I was like, wow, I need to see what kind of updates they have. I remember this. So this was 3 years ago, 2021. So I had been on YouTube about 6 or 7 months when I found out about this case. I'm about to pull it up. And then I'm going to look for updates because I know his cousin was the spokesperson for the family. I'm gonna check on her. Oh yeah, we don't want none of that. And then it was like they was acting like they was gonna do something. I don't think nothing ever happened to these people, man. And the fact that I'm not finding nothing updated, nothing new, it tells me nothing happened. No justice for Quawan. He was a kid who should have never been picked up by this woman in the first place. They said something about I think they end up saying he was tripping on something or something about some mushrooms or something crazy. Like, it's been a minute, so I definitely need a refresher, but I'll pull that up. And it was in my beginning, so it was a lot. Dude, what the heck? Okay, I think this is.
In Louisiana have now arrested a woman in connection with the mysterious death of 15-year-old Quawan Charles. Janet Irvin now facing charges of contributing to the delinquency of a minor and failure to report a missing child. Now, last October, Irvin and her son picked up Charles and brought him to their home, but the boy's parents did not know he had been picked up. And developing tonight, authorities in Louisiana have now arrested a woman in connection with the mysterious death of 15-year-old Quawan Charles. Janet Irvin now facing charges of contributing to the delinquency of a minor and failure to report a missing child. Now, last October, Irvin and her son picked up Charles and brought him to their home, but the boy's parents did not know he had been picked up and then reported him missing. 4 days later, law enforcement found his body in a ditch in a sugarcane field less than a mile from the Irvin's home. Police say they are confident they do have a strong case against her.
I personally spoke with the parents of Quawan Charles. I hope this arrest begins to help their family heal. And by no means is this case closed.
Autopsy results released yesterday.
Yeah, well, I remember the family being mad because he wasn't doing nothing. And it's like they wasn't trying to arrest these people. I still don't know. Like, this was at my start, so I wasn't. If I re-look into this, I'll find out stuff that I didn't know because I wasn't doing certain things back then. So, but I do know that they was dancing around the fact that these people was wrong and they was not trying to arrest her. And it was a man involved also. And her son, which would have been the person that Quawan was supposed to be there to visit, which he had no permission. I remember that he had recently moved with his dad. So his mother lived somewhere else and his dad didn't know that he was even out the house. And it was just a lot. Like, it was a lot going on. But let me hit play.
Today said Charles died from drowning, but the report did not rule out foul play, leaving many questions tonight, still months later, so unanswered. Our News Nation station in Louisiana has been closely following the story since the very beginning, and joining us now is reporter Britt LaFaso. And Britt, clearly a major development in this case today. First things first, how's the family of the victim reacting?
Hey, Rob. Yeah, well, the family has been pushing for an arrest in this case for months now. You know, they say that justice is never late, but they're wondering why justice has not come sooner. You know that Janet Irvin, we knew that she did not call police the night that Quawan Charles left her home. And we know that even whenever he was reported missing by his parents, still she did not call police. And again, 3 months ago, we also knew that Janet Irvin did give Quawan Charles drugs the night that he was at her house. So the family thinks that, for months ago, that they've had plenty of probable cause to go ahead and make this arrest. So they just don't understand why it's happening right now.
Are you getting any indication that there could be more arrests anytime soon?
Yeah, well, you heard the sheriff say that this is not over, and the family of Quawan Charles thinks that there will be more arrests. You know, these arrests only blame Janet Irvin for not reporting Quawan Charles missing and for giving him drugs. That the night that he was at her house, this does not, answer any questions about how Quawan Charles died. There's still tons of unanswered questions. We know that Quawan Charles's body was found in that sugarcane field ditch that was right behind Janet Irvin's home. And we know that, the family does not believe that he drowned there. That is what officials are telling us. He did drown in this canal, but the family just can't believe that. The coroner says he may have committed suicide in this ditch. But again, this ditch was
Get outta
only
here,
maybe
man.
full of a couple of inches of water. So they just don't understand how that's possible.
So as I'm looking, they she actually going to trial. I did not know this. Wait, what the heck? Yeah, but she ain't charged with his unaliving. Like, she gave him the stuff. She brought him out there. She ain't report nothing, ain't tell nobody nothing. And anyway, like, let me read this right quick. So this actually is November 4th. This article is written. It says a trial was set for a woman who failed to report missing teen before his death in Iberia Parish. So a woman charged with not reporting the October 30th, 2020 disappearance of teen Quawan Bobby Charles, who was found unalive, suspected of drowning near the Laurelville after walking away from a woman's home, is scheduled to stand trial in February. So Janet Irvin, 41, is the only person charged in the charge after the disappearance. Yeah, because I'm about to say she ain't charged with nothing concerning his death, which she should. See what I'm saying? So it took forever for them to even arrest these people, question these people, take them down or anything. Then you get her and you don't charge her with his death. You charge her for not reporting it. See what I'm saying? Now, if it was the other way around, what you think? How you think this would have worked out? So, Janet Irvin, 41 years old, is the only person charged after the disappearance of Charles, who was 15 years old. She was not charged in direct connection with his death. Irvin was charged with failure to report a missing child and contributing to the delinquency of a juvenile. Iberia Parish court records show she is scheduled for a pretrial conference January 7th. We'll be here for it. With a trial date February 3rd before the 16th Judicial District Judge Curtis Seeger. Charles reported he left his father's Baldwin home in St. Mary Parish October 30th, 2020 with a 17-year-old friend and Irvin, the friend's mother. Now, the friend was too old to be with him. Like, yeah, when you 17, you basically an adult. He was 15. He shouldn't have been around neither one of them. And I'm trying to remember, did he even go to his school? So, in a September 2021 motion challenging the constitutionality of a Louisiana law about reporting a missing child, Irvin's attorney wrote that Irvin brought Charles to her home to spend time with her son, then left to pick up someone. The teens, he wrote, were smoking marijuana at the home. When Irvin returned, the attorney wrote, her son told her Charles said he intended to unalive himself and he left their home. Get the hell out of here. I really don't, man, listen. They drove around looking for Charles and then decided he must have called someone for a ride and went home. And they did nothing. You hear me? So when Charles didn't return to his father's house that night and didn't answer his cell phone, the family reported Charles missing. Baldwin police, they said, did not take them seriously, instead speculating that Charles was probably at a high school football game. That is so familiar. I remember when Kanika Jenkins' mother reported her missing, even though it's something different. Oh, maybe she's out with her friends. Maybe she spent the night with her. Like, who? Don't tell me what. If I call 911, don't tell me what might be happening. But send the damn police. If that's what I'm calling for. But damn, I mean, this is crazy, y'all. Family members began investigating Charles' disappearance on their own and reached out to the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Office when they learned he had been seen October 30th with a woman later identified as Irvin and her teen son. 4 days later, after Irvin allegedly learned Charles was still missing, the attorney says she called the Baldwin police to report the last time she and her son seen him. Y'all hear me? Like, really? 4 days later, man. Sound like just enough time to cover up some stuff. And if I remember correctly, they was living in a trailer park and they was moving. They was trying to move and all kind of stuff was going on shady. So investigators with the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Office found Charles' naked body on November 2nd or 3rd, face down in the water near a sugar cane field in a wooded area right in her damn backyard is where it was at. The Lauriaville is what the name of the place was. An autopsy suggested that it was a self-unaliving. At 15 years old, what did he need to do that for? And who told y'all that? Whoever told y'all that was probably the one that did it. Didn't they say her 17-year-old son said that Charles said that he was about to leave and go unalive himself? And ain't nobody think to go look for him or anything. When I tell y'all, the most ridiculous stories came from these people. And we looking today in 2024. This happened in 2021. A woman that's only being charged for not reporting something and not for the death itself. Charles' cousin, Selena Charles, and that's who was the spokesperson, at the time described him as a quiet teen who struggled academically, in part because he was dyslexic. He had begun the school year at Southside High School in Youngstown, but had just transferred to West St. Mary's near Baldwin because he went from his mother to living with his father. That's sad, man.
And, right now they're saying that they're hoping the arrest of Janet Irvin will help her or convince her to tell law enforcement what really happened to Quawan Charles, because they think that, this wasn't a suicide. They think that the Irvins had something to do with his death, and they think that they covered it up.
Who wouldn't think that?
Such a sad and bizarre story, but hopefully we're slowly beginning to get some answers as to what happened to that young man. Britt, thank you so much. You've been on this for so long. I've done an excellent job. Thanks for joining us again tonight. We appreciate it.
Insane. I'm saying this for a reason. I always follow up with
GMA exclusive involving a mysterious death that has been getting attention all over this country. The mother of 15-year-old Quawan Charles speaking out to our own Janae about why she feels police mishandled her son's case. And Janae Norman here with much more. Janae, good morning to you.
Good morning. Baldwin police are defending their response to Quawan's disappearance, saying they did not drop the ball. His family's attorney, though, shared 6 missing persons cases from the last 2 years in the same parish where Quawan disappeared. Police notified local media in every case. None of those cases involved black boys. And Quawan's family believes that's the difference in his case.
Quawan was a good kid, a loving child.
You know, I loved him and he loved me.
This morning, a mother mourning the loss of her son and questioning whether 15-year-old Quawan Charles was murdered.
I cannot sleep at night like I want to. I'm constantly thinking about my son and trying to figure out exactly how he died.
The family says Quawan disappeared and they reported him missing October 30th. Video from that day shows him being picked up by a friend and the friend's mother. His body was found November 3rd in a sugarcane field about 20 miles away. His face barely recognizable. Roxanne Nelson believes police could have saved her son had they acted faster.
They could have done more. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. Had they done what they were supposed to do, my son would be alive today. But I feel because my son was black, it didn't matter to them.
Local police never notified state police to issue an Amber Alert, nor did police report Quawan's disappearance to local.
You hear that? No Amber Alert. Didn't report him missing. What?
Media.
Amber Alerts in Louisiana are issued by
social media or the media. This is the stuff they do time and time again. Same thing. Same bag of bullshit.
Alert, nor did police report Quawan's disappearance to local media.
Amber Alerts in Louisiana are issued by the state police. The state.
My son would be alive today. But I feel because my son was black, it didn't matter to them.
Local police never notified state police to issue an Amber Alert, nor did police report Quawan's disappearance to local media.
Amber Alerts in Louisiana are issued by the state police. The state police cannot issue Amber Alerts if they are not notified of missing children. If any one person had done their job, Quawan would probably be alive today.
The family's attorney points to other cases of missing children when police took faster action and believes this case was different because Quawan was a young black boy.
We don't think they looked at Quawan and saw their own children. We don't think that his life was high enough on the totem pole for them to exhaust all resources.
The family also questions why police didn't ping Quawan's cell phone to find him the day he was reported missing, instead waiting 4 days and then finding his body.
Do you think that if local police had reached out to state police and if they pinged Quawan's phone sooner, do you think that your son would be home with you today?
Yes, I really believe he would.
Mm-hmm.
But because they didn't, he's not with me and he won't ever be with me again. Ever. He's gone forever because they didn't do their job.
Baldwin police officials say Quawan's disappearance didn't appear to indicate he was in danger.
We didn't see where it felt that it met that criteria of an abduction or kidnapping because there was no eyewitnesses or no one to say that he had jumped into a vehicle or if someone kidnapped him or even beat him and took him into that vehicle.
Investigators say they've interviewed the people last seen with Quawan and.
But you know what you do have? Parents that don't know where their minor child is, and that should be a damn enough. And then you got them on surveillance going into the vehicles of some people that they didn't know too. If they would have investigated that far. Y'all seen how close that footage was, right?
Quote, are actively tracking their whereabouts. The coroner's report ruling Quawan likely drowned and that injuries to his face were likely caused by aquatic animals after his death. But
yeah, about the injuries to his face. The whole side of his jaw was gone. You could see his side teeth. I had that picture. I don't know where it's at now, but I had that picture, and that was the closest picture to Emmett Till that I've seen because of the state of his face. And his cousin, Selena Charles, she was in the autopsy room, standing right next to his body in the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, why people acting like you can't go in the room. She was in there taking pictures and everything. And I had that picture for a minute, but I ended up deleting some stuff after I found out a little bit more about YouTube and what not to do.
But his family is not convinced. And as his mom fights for answers, she's grieving a son gone too soon.
I love my child, and I'm missing him like crazy.
Funeral services for Quawan are today, and they're open to the public.
Sad. So this is what's happening, y'all. Like, this was one of the first cases, one of the early cases of me first getting on YouTube. Shout out to Bayou Sugar. How you doing? I'm gonna hit you up soon. I'm almost there, Bayou. Miss V, I've been listening in the bushes at your crime lives. Keep up the good work. Thank you for listening in the bushes, and thank you for dropping down. I appreciate it. I think Oregon harvesting is real. I hope the families confirm they are whole when found. Man, I don't remember hearing anything about his organs. I got some old. I'm gonna go watch my own old videos, and then we definitely gonna follow this and see what end up happening. But I don't even know where this woman is at. I mean, I know she's awaiting trial, but is she at home awaiting trial? Is she somewhere chilling awaiting trial? It's a lot I don't know. Yep. So okay, for real, I'm about to get out of here this time, y'all. But we should call the FBI and ask if they can ping Javion's phone and see if the FBI really have his phone. The SBI really have his phone. Well, we definitely know they ain't gonna work against each other. You know what I'm saying? I have heard a kidney can go for $100K on the black market. Oh, every organ can go for a significant amount of money, and it's people that's paying for it. Like when you have people in high places that got the money, yeah, they can just put in the order whenever they want, allegedly. Whenever they want. So this is nonsense. It's crazy. It's the laws need to change. I mean, but this is how you know that everything is working properly. This is how they ensure that you don't get around them. People in high places. And heck, I mean, I started out saying that I don't believe that, everybody is bad, but it's people in high places that stop it before it gets to the masses. But I feel different now. I mean, just knowing it's like you feel like this stuff is happening, but for me, like once stuff is proven, it is what it is. If I already feel it, then it's proven. And so I mean, clearly the laws need to change. It is not. It's the laws. It's the systematic racism. That need to change. Until that change, we fighting. I mean, we can fight. It's like a whole song and dance. It's like, their law. The laws, number one, that the laws that was created back in slavery need to be dismantled and rewritten, or because this is why they are continuing to get back to history. They keeping it where it's at. They're keeping it where it's at, and the only thing that's gonna change it is for it to change. It ain't got nothing to do with who in office or nothing. If they following the same laws of the 1800s. Before we was even considered human, then how the hell are we expected to be treated human if they following laws from back in the days? It's ridiculous. They dance around every other hate crime bill and all of that, and we see clearly what's happening, and that is just ridiculous. It's like, I mean, just how does it feel knowing that you're the most hated in this world? Because can't nobody convince me otherwise. They can try to put us with other people, black and brown, and they don't like us either. Okay? So we in a whole class by ourselves, period. I ain't never seen them fighting with us on our plight. So that's why you don't hear me mixing the two. All I know is our plight. Period. Because I live it. I mean, and I can't say that I've been held down or nothing like that, but I can see the systematic racism. I mean, I can see I've been held down in some ways, but I don't let it hold me down. I don't blame my shortcomings on it, because I'ma get it like I've been getting it, how I was raised to do it, work for it, make something for yourself, and be as independent as you can. I mean, meeting all of these gardeners and stuff, I'm telling you, is really refreshing, because that's another way to get your power back. Not working so many hours elsewhere is a way to get your power back. And I dropped down to part-time 3 years ago. So that was very empowering, because I've always worked all of my life. I had to get a work permit to work. So I was like 14 getting my first job. And Been working ever since, and never thought I would see a day of it slowing down. Never even thought about it. But then getting on YouTube in 2020, like, man, I could do something else. So like that kind of stuff is getting your time back is the biggest thing. Shout out to Summer 70. Welcome in. Oh, another person in the Army missing. He's found, and they found him in some water, but now we trying to figure out how he got there. Who did this to him? Like, how did he go from the airport and to a body of water? And don't nobody had no answers in between. This happened on the night of November 7th. He was found on the same day Javion McGee was found, and we just now finding out about this. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So that's what I'm saying. We got to realize how we being attacked, and then when we are attacked, we got to know how to respond to it, and it's immediate. The more people talking about it, the better. Let's learn from the Javion McGee case when his cousin came out with that TikTok video. That's what got him talking. Duplicate and duplicate and duplicate. So, but anyway, y'all, until next time, I am going to get out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Make this go viral. They got a boy, got him. That's okay. I'm gonna just keep recording mine over here. Kinda need them. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much. Why is this happening? I would love to know. Man, people hate it. I think it's awesome. Wow. Peace and love, y'all. We out.